Hey, everybody, we're live and it's Friday. And guess who I got over here? Tim
It's
James. And this is Lee Strauss. We're here with
yeah.
Spaced Out Radio and Element 115, bringing the goods to you tonight. I'm telling you what, I've been doing research the last 2 days. And I've been talking to this guy over here and that guy over there and everybody in between about something that just kind of came across my list of ideas. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to get into that. And there's some compelling truths to what I'm going to show you guys. So yeah, and it is showtime. Smells like napalm in the morning over here at Element 115. What do you think, Tim?
Well, like they say, you can't get to the moon on quarters and halves, my friend.
Yeah, well, guys, we got one going for you tonight for sure. I'm going to go ahead and run that intro, and then we're going to get into it. All right, hang on your hats.
Welcome to the dimension of the unknown, where the imagination reigns supreme, crafting worlds and realities that defy the limitations of our mortal coil. Beyond the veil of reality, there exists a realm that defies the boundaries of human perception. Certain places beckon with an otherworldly allure, stirring the senses and whispering secrets of a dimension that lies just beyond the threshold of our mundane existence. The air is alive with an electric anticipation, as if the next step might unravel the very fabric of reality, plunging us into an abyss from which there is no return. This realm is a boundless expanse, as infinite as the cosmos and as timeless as the ages. It inhabits the twilight zones of existence, where the glow of knowledge and the shadows of ignorance entwine like lovers in a cosmic dance. Here, the rational and the mystical converge, suspended between the depths of human terror and the pinnacle of our understanding. Welcome to Element 115.
Well, guys,
We're back.
we are back. What are we talking about tonight, Tim?
Well, I think first of all, for safety's sake, throw your seatbelts on because Lee has been a very busy boy. And this looks, and put a woo hat on because you're going to probably need that as well, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Holy-
so we really need to set the stage here, guys, for this. And I'm going to go over a couple news stories that I have found that kind of possibly tie into what we're talking about tonight. And it will be the three-eyed Atlas. Yes, that is correct. And some of the symbolism around why it may be called the three-eyed Atlas and who may have their fingers in the webs of all of this, by the way. So we're going to get into all of that. So here we go. The Juno probe. Okay, we're going to talk about the Juno probe for a minute. This is a probe that is hanging out around Jupiter. Right now, the batteries are dying on this thing, and it could go out anytime in September and cease to function. But this thing could turn around and face the three-eye Atlas right now to see what we can see before the batteries go dead, because it's the closest thing we have out there to whatever this is. Okay, so it's pretty cool. It could happen. They could do it for us. It's up to NASA, but where I'm throwing my hat.
Yeah, right.
Right in on that for sure. So that was something that I looked at and I was like, man, gosh, what could we learn? Even if it's, 10 10 minutes of film or the photos or whatever. We already know this thing has kind of gotten a lot brighter than it should have.
Yep.
For its size, according to Avi Loeb. So there's that, right? And let me go ahead. We're going to go off screen here. I'm actually going to share my screen because we're going to talk about something else that popped up that might correlate in some way. And I really want to show you all this darn thing. Let's see. Okay. Share. Actually, share. Okay. So there's this this deal here. Warship hangs over the clouds. Apparently, there is a, for lack of a better word, a orbital carrier that's about to be deployed. Now they're finishing this thing up. I don't know how they're getting it into space. I have no idea. But yeah, they could launch this thing out there, and its mission is to send out other satellites to protect Earth, not only to protect Earth, but to protect our nation against threats. Okay, either earthbound threats or other. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. And right now, they've spent $60 million on this thing, which doesn't seem like a lot of money for something that's going to be in space, but it's something. I think they're getting ready for something, is what I'm getting at. It seems to me that, yeah, that may be what's going on here, and that may be what we're going to be seeing here shortly. So that being the case, there's some other things I found. Okay. Okay, let's get into number 2. Is it possible that that this object, the 3-eye Atlas, could become trapped in orbit around a planet? Well, right now it's a comet, so it's moving very quickly, right? The likelihood of it actually getting captured by a planet is highly unlikely. Highly, maybe less than 1%, right? But it depends on how it off gases as well, right? Or if it's being steered. The fact that it's coming in at our orbital plane is crazy. You've heard that, right, Tim?
Yes, I most certainly have. Yeah, Avi Loeb was basically, yeah, it's on our plane, and it is coming in hot and heavy. Now, just a little preface about Avi Loeb. Dave and I had talked about, I think, him last night or whatever it was. And the good thing about Avi is a lot of people might go, oh, geez, look, I can't make up his mind. Avi Loeb will completely correct himself if he's wrong. And so understand that he's not just reaching at straws here. He goes through the process, and at that point in time is what he dictates, what he thinks he sees or what he thinks it is, and what it might be or might not be. And then as it gets closer, he investigates a little more. And, now it's 12 miles long, he figures. And he also figures that this dust that's normally coming off it, which causes the shine, isn't normal either. So, yeah, we've got this thing coming to us. I'm just looking it up over on my side screen here. And yeah, it's coming across, I guess, between us and Mars, and I'm not sure what the date is. There's no timeline on it, but yeah, it's on a trajectory that it's going to go shoot right by us and in between us and Mars. So will it make a little bit of a turn and come this way? I don't know, but yeah, we're in its path. There's no question.
Right. And it may be significant that it's going past Mars. And there's a reason why we're going to talk about that later. But I needed to get that out there, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this. Okay. It could become trapped in orbit around one of our planets. Most likely, if this did happen, it would be Mars. Okay. The key factor for this or asteroid or comet, right, capture is not a smooth approach, but rather a loss of orbital energy relative to the planet. This energy loss is difficult to achieve and often requires a 3-body gravitational intersection with another moon or sun, or it does it on purpose.
Right.
Jeez. Okay. It's a possibility, right?
Absolutely.
So, based on the current projections, the interstellar comet 3I Atlas will make its closest approach to the sun around October 30th, 2025. During this time, it will be passing through the inner solar system, traveling just within the orbit of Mars. Okay. Now, Mars has got a moon.
Yep.
Okay. And we're also dealing with the sun, and we're dealing with Mercury in that same area, right? So once it goes past our planet, it's going to be on the opposite side of the sun. When this all happens, we won't actually see it on the backside till later. I mean, we can see it now, but then we're behind the sun, right? So there's going to be a moment in time, probably a month or so or less, a couple days less than that we won't be able to see what's going on until we come out on the other side. And if that sucker is sitting there orbiting Mars, it means an entirely different thing.
Oh, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Holy.
Yeah. And so, this is kind of the direction I'm headed here a little bit. Jeremy Corbell and Ross Coulthard both said that in 2027, that there was something going to happen. And that date is way off in the future. It has nothing to do with this object, at least that we think, right?
Right.
They could have been given some information, and the dates could have been skewed on purpose because maybe they don't want to let us know that this, thing was going to happen as soon as it is. And the fact that both of them came out to the public and said, this thing is going to happen in 2027, maybe a timeline needed to be switched up.
Right.
And things needed to be advanced. It's very, very possible. In fact, you said something to me prior to the show that I would like you to say.
Oh, yeah.
About what they came out with. Yeah.
Yeah. So back in January, I had reported that Jeremy Corbell had stated emphatically that the United States was going to tell everybody that there was something coming at the planet from outer space, and it was, fix a narrative, and here it comes, and we don't know what it is, and blah, blah, blah. So he had stated that do not believe a expletive thing they're telling you. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. And you can still look it up. It's on all social media and stuff, and you can get a better breakdown than just a Reader's Digest version that I'm talking about. So then when 3i started popping out in the news, and Avi Loeb kind of opened the can of worms, for lack of a better phrase, then Corbell came on about 2 days after Avi Loeb made a statement, and just saying, it just was weird, and it kind of corresponds with what Lee was saying. But he goes, well, I know what I said, and I know that I, not to believe anything and blah, blah, blah. He goes, but maybe it's not this one. And I'm like, I think everybody was kind of shocked, like, what? Okay, 2027, there's something coming. Don't believe a word they're saying. And then, boom, something's coming sooner. And maybe not maybe not the same thing that I was talking about. Very vague and cryptic with his explanation. And I was kind of like, what is going on here? Like, did somebody oops? And Lee brings this up. Maybe somebody did oops and didn't do their math correctly. And stuff's coming sooner than later.
Yeah.
But we're not supposed to believe it.
Yeah, but we're not supposed to believe him any of that stuff,
no.
right? So, when that was said, I kind of did back then. I did a little research online.
Mm-hmm.
There's this asteroid Apophis that's coming to nearby Earth, very, very close. In fact, within the area where we actually have satellites. I'm reading this thing is coming super close. So it says, however, the asteroid Apophis will not be hitting Earth. It will be passing very closely by on April 13th, 2029, at a distance of about 32,000 kilometers, roughly 20,000 miles closer than some geosynchronous satellites. But so that's way off in the future, right? We don't have to worry about that necessarily right now. We got bigger fish on the plate, so to speak.
For sure.
So we're going to continue. In August 2025, podcaster on a podcast, Jeremy Corbell stated that there was a big lie that was going to be told in 2027 about an alien craft approaching Earth. He emphasized that this would be the planned narrative, not an actual threat, and warned people to be skeptical of the announcement. So that's what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah.
In a recent podcast and interview, he had stated that the source told him that something big was coming. And this is actually Coulthard here. Coulthard emphasized that there are rumors circulating among his sources, and they don't have concrete evidence to back it up. But so this has been going out there in the, I don't even know what you want to call it, with the world leaders, whoever's running the world. And I don't know if you want to call that like a consortium or whatever, but
right,
there's a group of people that know that SHIT is going to hit the fan, right? Either it's by their design or it's by someone else's design. And I think that's what we're starting to see right here. And I think they're either going to have to come out with disclosure ahead of this thing, or they're going to let whatever this thing is do it. Okay. By itself. What are your thoughts there?
Wow. That's a deep question. And my brain's going in 17 different directions on that. I would say, first of all, yeah, if that's the case, I would agree with you. Yeah. I'm thinking, let's just say, okay, following your theory, I would say that they had better get on their horses and open some doors and start letting people know what's going on before it happens. Right. It's, again, I don't know how, the government, I know how my brain thinks their brains work. And I don't know. I think that it'd be very smart for them to prepare anybody or all of us before this happened and start opening some gates slowly, so everybody kind of gets accustomed to the idea and gets used to the changes that are going to happen and, could possibly happen with this other thing. But then on the other side of it, I'm wondering if they just let it happen, does that bolster their control over everything? Right? Does everybody spin and turn and look back at their governments and go, oh my gosh, help us. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Don't worry, we've got this handled, right? Like ego's getting away.
Right. So this could be a reason for a power grab. They could use this for nefarious reasons, right? Yeah, that was one of my thoughts as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's just the way my brain was spinning on it, but
yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you on that. Cool. Definitely. To gain control, they're going to use, like they've used in the past. There have been other things that have happened that have come along. And they've used those situations to gain more control over the populace, right?
Right.
I don't like to speak on things very much, when it comes to conspiracy theories, other than like the UFO stuff.
Yep.
But other things have happened recently in the last couple of years. We know what we're talking about,
Yep.
right? I don't have to say the words,
Mm-mm.
but according to some of the research and some of the things I've looked at, there was some heads up that it was coming. There was certain albums that were put out a couple months before that had the words on the back and the typewriter that was labeled. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but Tom Hanks had the typewriter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some other things that had come out as well. And this sort of thing has happened in other major catastrophes before. Other major catastrophes. I'm thinking about the Twin Towers, for instance.
Right.
There's a lot of speculation behind these two horrible things that happen. And all I am doing is I'm trying to follow evidence, because it's been there in the past. You can go back and look and see, right? And so that's exactly what I did. And I was like, wait a minute, Three-Eyed Atlas. What the heck is that name about, right? And of course, the cover story there on the Three-Eyed Atlas is that this is the third interstellar object that has been spotted. Now, Atlas, referring to the telescope, the ground-based, Earth-based telescope that spotted it, right? So I'm thinking, symbolisms and things, and can we tie things together? Can we kind of figure out what's going on behind the scenes here? Because this sounds to me like something's coming that they know about, that they don't want the rest of us to know about, and there's information in the name. And so that's where that happened yesterday morning, when I was like, wait a minute now. That is just so ambiguous. What the heck? Besides what, of course, they fed to all of us.
Oh, yeah.
What's there on the deeper level, right? So the Three-Eyed Atlas, the Three-Eyed Owl. And why I came to an owl is because there is descriptions from the Illuminati. Okay, well, maybe they somehow infiltrated and they still rule, underhandedly in the world somehow, right? I mean, a lot of people theorize that they're part of the Freemasons now,
right?
And God knows who else, the Bilderbergs and all of the great families that run the world. But there is that thought. Okay, so the Three-Eyed Owl is an Illuminati symbol, which would be depicted as on jewelry and in art, with the eye of Horus plainly visible on the breast of the owl. That's the third eye, is the eye of Horus. Okay. The eye of Horus, or the eye of Providence, was known and could be a sign of royal power or divine oversight. These symbols, or this symbol, and quite possibly, yes. So yeah, basically the Illuminati, this was one of their symbols. And it sounds like the Freemasons kind of took over that symbol, quite possibly. So there's that. And I'd like to show everybody that here. I got to look on the other side of my camera because it's hidden. Let's see. Hopefully this is the one. Yes, it is. Okay, share this. So check this symbol out on the left right here. This is what we're talking about with the owl and the eye of Providence, right? And notice the eye of Providence is in a triangle, which has 3 points in it. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is that about?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, we're moving on here. Does that even sound like there's something going on, or what? Am I way out of league here, or what?
No, keep going. It's going to come together.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so in the Freemasons tradition, there are three great pillars took over the symbolism of Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who carries the weight of the world on his shoulders. All right. In Greek mythology, Atlas is primarily known as a Titan who was codenamed, was condemned to hold up the celestial heavens on his shoulders. And some even see him as a symbol of the separation between the spiritual and material realms. So once again, three pillars with Atlas. So we already know that Atlas is this named, not dish. What do I want to say?
Deity?
On the ground, it's a telescope.
There you go.
Right? It's a named telescope. So obviously they named it that for a reason, because it's taking a look at the heavens, right?
Right.
So that's the reason behind that. But once again, for some reason, that number 3 is woven in to that, and it's interesting to me, right? Where are we going with this? Where are we going? Well, it sounds to me, just from where we're at right now, that someone or some party, a bunch of people are giving a message to those in the know,
right?
That we know about this object, and we've known about this object for a while. Because information started leaking out to Corbell, or it started leaking out to Coulthard, right? So it seems like there was some prior knowledge about this object. What do you think?
I am thinking that's super plausible. I mean, what I see in this sort of thing is, first of all, everybody will come up and have possibly their own thoughts and what have you. But what I see with this is there is that possibility. I mean, we have missed stuff that's right in front of our face simply by not just putting 2 and 2 together. We listen to what the mass, the media, the government, what people have to say, and I guess in a way, I mean, it's a comfort to know that, okay, everything's safe. We've been told everything's safe, everything's okay. I get that, but I find that people find themselves that they're contented by that, and that is all by choice. That's all they want to know, or that's what they wholeheartedly believe. And what you're talking about tonight does make sense. It is wooish, and I'm going to say it. It does seem wooish, but it doesn't make it untrue. I think that there's a plausibility that what you're hitting, or what you're saying, is hitting a nail right on the head. Looking into it, and when we were talking today, and when you were sending me some of this stuff, I was like, holy cow. Far too much to be a coincidence, in my opinion. But then again, it's that woo thing, right? And
yeah,
I'm thinking that you might be onto something, my friend.
I'm not saying that this is fact. What I'm saying is I am reading from things that I looked online and I'm trying to draw conclusions, trying to figure out what is being told here under the surface. Because what all we're getting is surface stuff, right? So I need to look deeper and try to figure out what's going on. All of these things are possibilities.
Sure.
It's not, that's what it is. It's a possibility.
Yep.
It's not, I'm not saying it's going to happen, I'm not saying that these things are absolutely 100% tied together, but it makes me think. And, you know, in my mind, it's my job to try to figure this stuff out and then kind of give it to you all. And maybe you guys can go out there and look some of this information up and come out with more information or something much more tangible than what I've been able to find. Because I'm going to tell you, when I go and do this sort of thing, I'm doing it at work. I'm trying to work and trying to do my stuff at work too.
I get it.
And I'm like grabbing my phone and taking it over to the side, kind of like, oh, don't watch what I'm doing over here. You know?
Everything's good over here.
Yeah, exactly. And then I get home like tonight and I'm like trying to put this stuff together because it's a lot of information that I'm getting, right? I'm sitting there asking Alexa, I'm talking to Chat GPT. I'm trying to figure out where's the correlation here and what's going on. And some of this stuff is just like, wait a minute, what the heck? And okay, so we're going to get into a little bit more of that.
I'm not sure what you mean. Can you clarify your question?
No, Alexa.
No, don't get her started. Don't get her started. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so here's where it kind of goes into the serious woo stuff here. According to Zachariah Stitchin, some of the Sumerian texts and the Anunnaki. Okay, so according to some of the Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki were also visiting Mars. And we talked about Mars and the possibility it could, decide to pause out there and start orbiting Mars. What does that mean, right?
Yeah.
It's a possibility. So my thought there is, because it's the closest planet and it gets basically into the orbit of Mars around the sun, but it could also start orbiting Mars. And the reason why is, as many of you know, there's been artifacts found on Mars. Right? So it's possible, right?
Sure.
Okay. So David Icke in the 1990s, he was a conspiracy theorist. David Icke built on this Zachariah Stitchin's idea linked to the Anunnaki and the Illuminati. Icke claimed that surviving alien bloodlines from Stitchin's books are a race of shape-shifting reptilians who secretly control the world and keep humans enslaved. In this framework, the Illuminati are merely a chess piece used by these reptilian overlords.
Interesting.
Okay. So, what are we getting into here? We're starting to get into the 12th planet type thing. Okay, and this is where things are going to start crossing over. Okay, so Atles just happens to be one of the 12 Titans.
That's right.
Okay, so where does my brain goes? 12th planet, or what are we talking about here? Is it possible the 12th planet, or Nibiru, is the name of a ship or a craft?
Oh.
What the hell? What the hell? Okay. Where do I mean, that's where my mind went to. Okay. So that's why I think it's possible that it might decide to orbit Mars. That's where I'm going with that.
Holy. All right.
What are your thoughts there? Do you think I'm way out in left field?
No, I don't think you're way out in left field. I'm just trying to, and being 100% honest, you're much more versed in this research than I am at this point in time. But it I'm just putting it together, and yeah, it makes sense. There's a lot of correlation going on around here. And like I said earlier, I think far too much to be coincidental.
Mhm.
Not to say that it can't be coincidental, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm
Right.
thinking that, like I said, you've got some meat and potatoes on that plate, man. Um, I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay. Here's a for instance.
Okay,
We just discovered a new moon. Okay.
right.
Um, around Uranus. Uranus, sorry. Besides that, right?
Okay.
Uh, we just now spotted it using the James Webb Telescope.
Mhm.
Okay. What the heck? How are we just now realizing this is insanity? How
I
long
know.
is this? We don't even know what's going on in our own solar system, it seems like.
Yeah, right.
But if there was documents that were written down a long time ago that we don't have access to, and they knew that something was coming back, and maybe they didn't know the exact date, because when you're looking at old scrolls like that and trying to decipher stuff,
Yeah.
you might get screwed up a little bit on dates. So
Yeah.
with the whole Corbell thing and the
Yeah.
dates there, they could have gotten askew,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
It's very possible. So now here's this thing that is coming in, that is doing what? It's coming along the elliptical plane.
Right.
It's coming into the habitable zone of our sun, right?
Mhm.
It's visiting 2 of the 3 planets within that habitable zone,
Mhm.
and it's exhibiting light that doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
what are we dealing with, right? What it's like this stuff is jumping out at me because of those factors. And I'm very science based, right?
Oh, yeah. No
So I
question.
want
Yep.
to see the facts and da 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 da. But when it comes to this research, it's very ambiguous to me.
Mhm.
And it seems like I can draw some parallels, quite possibly, but there are other people out there, that can do a lot better job than I can.
Right.
And so I invite people to look at these things and look at the things like the Illuminati and the Freemasons, right?
Yeah.
And the what was the group of Masons way back in history, the Crusaders,
Yeah. The Knights Templar.
the Knights Templar. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. I mean, is there symbolism that they have that can tie these things together?
Oh, yeah.
Because if there is, maybe with the 3-eye atlas, like I'm saying, it's
Mhm.
pointing to something that people would understand if they run in those circles. That's all I'm getting at.
Right. Right.
So,
And you
yeah,
can, and on your guys' money, don't you guys have the pyramid with the eye in it?
the eye of Horus is on
Yeah.
our dollar, and on our
Yeah.
money.
See, this, what you're saying to me, okay, now, or saying to us, saying to me, because we're sorry, everybody. What I'm getting here now, putting together what you're saying,
Mhm.
answers a question for me, because Avi Loeb has been on this like a dog on a bone. Fantastic. He's saying it's this and then later coming up with something different, which we've already talked about. But have you noticed, or has anybody noticed that nobody's trying to shut him up? Nobody's trying to shut him up because that's where everybody's focused,
Right.
right? So everybody's looking at Avi, and I'm, maybe he's unwittingly, doing the bidding of somebody else, and not on purpose. He has no idea. He is a researcher. He's stand-up dude, and he's trying to figure out what this is because that's his job and that's his interest.
Right.
So is if you're saying, if there's any credence to what you're suggesting and what your theory is, then that answers the question why nobody's pounding on Avi Loeb's door going, hey, time for you to shut up. Right.
Right.
It's kind of like, hey, let him make stuff up, let him think, and let him feed. Everybody's looking at him.
Right.
I don't know. That's just my head again. I'm thinking, all right.
Yeah. So now that we've talked kind of about what I have found online, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of this object? Right. Could it be the Anunnaki coming back to us, coming back here? Is that possible? I don't know. I don't know. Is it something that the government is making up to, basically throw their agenda out there so that they can take control of the UFO and alien narrative? Is that what's going on? Right. There's so many options here on the table. If you take a look, maybe they need a bunch of funding for this stuff. These new craft in space.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. True.
These carriers that they're talking about putting in space. I mean, are they want to get a bunch of money for that stuff? What is the agenda?
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, all we can do is speculate because, of course, surprise, nobody's talking.
Right. Nobody is. I mean, we're getting little blurps of this and blurps of that. All we can do is say, well, does this puzzle piece fit in this puzzle? I mean, that's what we're trying to do is figure this out. And what I'm trying to do is just give some information so people can take those puzzle pieces and find out for themselves that those fit, in or not. So, so here's my thought.
All right.
This thing, whatever this is, let's say it is the Anunnaki coming back.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not.
By the way, Atlas cries tears of gold and silver, by the way. So if you want to talk about the Anunnaki, what were they searching for here on the planet?
Gold.
According to everybody. Gold, right?
Yep. You betcha.
So Atlas crying tears of gold and silver were kind of interesting as well.
Right.
But so it comes into the inner solar system. It starts to orbit Mars, and it does this. It would do this on purpose. Why? To kind of let us know that there's something there. It's not going to come right in, to where we are necessarily. I don't think it would, because as far as we know, there's already aliens here.
Yes.
Right. And this could be their way of disclosing that they're here. Doing it kind of slow. You're watching us come in. I mean, I always thought to myself, if I was going to meet a gray or something like that face to face, how would I want it done? Well, I'm going to want to see it across the football field. And I want to decide at that point in time whether or not I'm going to come closer to it. Right. I want to make that choice. Right. So maybe that's what this thing is doing, is going to Mars. It's going to orbit Mars. If it does that, we know it's a craft. Maybe it's saying, okay, we're going to sit up here and see what the Earthlings do. It's their next step at that point in time. Right.
For sure.
So it's all hypothetical, but this is the way I would want it to work out. Right.
Sure.
So then we see it there. We'll watch it for a couple of years, and maybe we send out a probe, to check this thing out. And we do see that it's a craft. Well, we would know it was a craft before, I suppose, but we're actually looking at the nuts and the bolts of the thing now. Right. And we're realizing, well, this thing isn't a threat. This thing isn't doing anything to the probe. So maybe we should send a manned mission out to it to check it out.
Right.
And by that time, about a couple of years from now, we're definitely going to have that capability. It sounds like we're well on our way.
Oh yeah, no question.
With what the Space Force is doing. So, then we check it out, and our race meets another race. and the rest is history. But
Mm-hmm.
I think this is where we're headed. At least I hope that's where we're headed.
Yeah. Well, that would be see, and theoretically, that would be a very cool way, I guess, for disclosure on the part of whatever it is, the Anunnaki, Greys, whatever. But to actually draw back that curtain, that would be perfect. They're a safe distance away, right? But they're close enough to, like you say, to observe. But we're also able to observe them. And yeah, maybe that we meet in the middle. There's a neutral ground somewhere.
Mhm.
But that would be a super cool way for things to open up. Now, again, no control by any government. Again, they need to figure out what this is, be truthful about it if it's not a comet or a meteor, and get this ball rolling. Because yeah, again, they're just going to go, okay, you guys are stupid, we're here, we're real, we've been around forever, right?
Right.
Some of us are going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, we kind of figured you would, nice to meet you. And then some people are going to be like, oh my gosh, it is real, right?
Yeah, right. But I think it's the safest way to go about it in my mind, for disclosure to happen, because we know that the government isn't coming out with this stuff. They're not going to. Even if this does happen, they're going to be able to hide it for a long time. I feel they could put the clamp down on this, right?
I guess they could to a certain extent, but I think because of the amount of publicity or the amount of talk that's going on now, I would imagine that it wouldn't just get swept under the carpet. Oh yeah, it's gone. Because there's people, example, Science Bob, right? Science Bob's Mr. Telescope, and lack of a better term, but he takes gorgeous pictures of stuff out there. So there's going to be people like Science Bob, or people that have much better equipment than Science Bob. They're going to be keeping an eye on this, and
Sure.
Right? So unless some guy in a black suit and a hat and sunglasses comes to your house and takes a hammer to your telescope, or where, there's nothing stopping us, Joe Public, from being able to keep an eye on it as well. So they may have, the government that is, may have an extremely hard time keeping this under wraps, especially when they're saying, yeah, no, it's just a meteor. It's going around in circles. And there's 50, 60, 70 other people around the world going, no, it's not. No,
yeah,
it's
because they have access to telescopes and that sort of thing, and they can see it as soon as it would come into the to our background, our backyard, or whatever.
For sure.
Yeah, I the other option is that this is all made up.
True.
From the get-go. Like, this is all a farce. They put some information out there. And they really don't, it's all CGI, or it's AI generated stuff. And I mean, that's a possibility. They could be doing that for the reason that they want more funding for whatever it is out there, right?
Yeah.
Like I kind of mentioned before.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what the agenda is. I try to get on the inside and kind of look around and see, but there's always a yin and a yang,
of course,
to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a balance.
And there, in this situation, it seems like we have 4 different options of what could be happening here,
okay.
Right? And the last one is that it's just a flipping comet.
Yeah.
That's come in on our elliptical plane, where everybody knows.
Yeah.
But the likelihood of that is the same likelihood that our moon, for some reason, is where it is and doesn't rotate, and covers up the sun perfectly when we have an eclipse. I mean, it's just one of those things, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? What I mean? It
feels like you
Go ahead.
Well, it feels like your brain's going to explode because I mean, I get it. And I think most of our audience understands that as well. I think we all, to a certain degree, have analytical minds when it comes to any of this stuff. We may not believe what somebody is saying or maybe think, but we listen and I think we all try in our heads to go, okay, so put the shoe on the other foot, and we try to do that. And I think what happens with you, and I know with me, is that I tried to look at stuff. If it's not like me reporting something on Spaced Out Radio for the UFO report, like with a discussion like this, it's hard for me because I want to take everything into consideration. And I think what happens is when you say your head is that I try to put it together, see what's more plausible, try to take little bits maybe that make sense from other things that I've heard and put it into something that makes sense to me. And until I get there, my head is a blender of information. And I'm like, and then something else comes around and you go, oh yeah, right, I forgot about that. That's like, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
that's exactly what's happened with this thing.
Yeah.
For me. Right.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where it goes from here. But anyway, I kind of want to spend the last couple of minutes of our show talking about last weekend.
Okay.
You know, we've been doing this show for a while, and we've known each other on here maybe a year. Has it been a year?
Well, on this show,
on Spaced Out Radio.
Oh, on Spaced Out, yeah.
So we met for the first time in person.
Yes,
up in Canada.
Way to go, eh?
Yeah, eh? So when I met you, it was just like, I was with him the other day. No big deal. I mean, there's no difference between meeting you in person and having you right here. It felt like it was just a continuation of what we've always been doing.
I know you're right, because when we were at Days and I came in and you came up from downstairs, I was like, oh, there's Lee. Hey, buddy. I got up and it was like, man, this is so weird because it's like, I know you.
Yes.
But I haven't actually physically shook your hand, give me a hug. And it felt kind of weird because it was like, I'm excited to see you, but I know you.
It's just like, we must be neighbors.
Exactly.
Exactly. It was just weird to me. Yeah.
We're all meeting at Dave's for a barbecue. Haven't seen you in a couple of months. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Yeah. That was wild.
It was awesome.
Then we went out to Flight 21, where the plane had crashed there back in 67?
65.
65?
Yeah.
And that was really super interesting. And I can't wait to go back there. I really can't. I want to go so bad. I want to come up and spend a week, but I know that you and Dave both don't have that time, and I don't have that time.
No.
But I think if we plan for next year to do a proper investigation where we actually spend a couple nights there, I really do think that's what needs to happen.
Oh, for sure.
There was some high strangeness going on in that area.
Yeah.
You could feel it when you got into that area in your gut.
Yeah, right.
Palatable. It was thick, and it got even worse once it got dark.
Yeah. Dusk rolls in, man, and it's just like that switch gets flicked. And you don't understand. I mean, I shouldn't say it like what I don't think you understand is the drive up from Dave's when you and I were together. I think the hardest part for me was keeping my mouth shut about because I was so excited that you guys are up, and it's like try not to put anything in your head,
right?
And getting you to look for that. It was just like I just kept thinking, and like I said to you a few times, dude, oh my gosh, you just wait, right? But I wanted to spoiler alert. And this happens and that happens. And you should, I think I did a pretty good job of keeping my mouth shut, but I was like just antsing, like, so, wow, this is a bumpy road. Yeah, it's bumpy.
Yeah, it was bumpy. Let me tell you.
No kidding.
Seriously, it was about 10 miles out or something on one of the roughest roads. Let me put this. I need people to see this in their head.
Yeah.
Where we were. Okay. I don't know if you guys have been to Alaska, but it's short trees, real skinny, short trees all over the place. And you can look out and it's just endless, endless, endless forests. Well, that's what this was like. The land is actually dotted with these little ponds and lakes all over the place. Elevation is about 300 or 3,500 to 4,000 feet.
Yep.
And it's just goes on forever. It's just endless. It's completely endless. There's roads that dart off to the left, to the right, and everywhere in between. And there's thousands of miles of dirt roads out there. Just nonstop. It's crazy. You have from on one end, you can drive all the way to what's called the Fraser River, and there's a mountain range right there. It's actually where the big ski resort is, Whistler, over that way. And then on the other side of us, there's another mountain range, and that is actually the Canadian Rockies. But that's way off in the distance. You could barely see it.
Yeah.
But it's there, and you're in this vast territory, thousands of square miles of just the same kind of terrain for as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
And how would you be able, it's like a needle in a haystack. How would you be able to find anything paranormal in there at all? But I'll tell you what, it's not like we had to search very far.
Nope.
Not at all.
No, definitely not. Yeah, so for anybody, for the Canadian people that are listening, we're talking about a third from the turn off, and just to get to the other road that leads to the crash site, 36 kilometers, something like that. So yeah, it's a bit of a drive. It takes about we got in there, an hour and a half, maybe. Yeah. So, yes. And we are in a plateau in this area too. And I jokingly said to Lee, we were driving in, I said, I said, you wonder why people go missing up here and why you can't find missing people? Because
you wouldn't.
You can't. It's almost impossible. You
no.
Too many roads, too many hills, too many deep forests, too many hundreds of lakes and ponds. You'd have to be hunting, a needle in a haystack up here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's I would even say it's worse than that. But
yeah, right.
Things seem to congregate around that crash.
No question.
Right? And how you guys found that other gifting site where we saw that other three-toed footprint was, I don't know how you guys found that spot.
That had nothing, zero to do with me. That was Dave's baby. And I think it was him and Mark Spender that actually kind of went out there. I could be wrong, but I know that's Dave's spot. And that's a great place. We go hang out there when we can too. It's really neat.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for our show for tonight. But I will be on with Dave Scott later for the Q&A.
That's right.
Yes, I will, from 11 to midnight.
Lucky.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you're looking forward to it, but you're tired. I get it.
Yeah, I'm tired, but it's all good. I get to hang out with another buddy of mine, so that's what matters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, looking forward to it. And yeah, like before we burn out of here real quick, like Lee said, don't have to believe anything we talked about tonight. This was just a theory and some woo. Yep. Feel free to dive down that rabbit hole. And if you find anything, let us know.
Absolutely.
Come to us. Yeah. We'd love to hear it.
Definitely would. Okay, guys. Dave Scott's up next. We're going to go ahead and hit the outro, and we will see you next week. We've got another fabulous guest coming in to talk about alien abductions.
Nice.
So, yes. Talk to you all later.